Hi everyone, this is Amy with Simply Elizabeth Crafts, and today this video is for your Monday Facebook Live, which obviously it is not live. So we're going to dive right on in, and since I don't have to wait for anyone to come in and I don't have to share or do any of that, so we're going to just dive right in. Don't forget about the July paper pumpkin. The last day to register for that is July the 10th, and it is called The Adventure Begins. These are some little sneak peeks of what will be in it, and I'm super excited about it because it's the outdoorsy kit. So y'all know I love my outdoors. So anyway, that is the July paper pumpkin. Don't forget, from now until August the 2nd, there is a designer series paper sale. It is 15% off. And this is only for a select number of DSP in the annual catalog. So it's The Beauty of the Earth, Bloom Where You're Planted, Hand Pinned, In Good Taste, In the Wild, Pansy Petals, Sweet Symmetry, Tidings of Christmas, and You're a Peach. So it is 9 different ones, and they're all 15% off until August the 2nd. So make sure you stock up and save on your DSP. All right, give me 2 seconds. I think I'm crooked. There we go. Okay. All right, so that is that. Let's see. The winning prizes, we have Deb Anderson, you won some heart trinkets. Carrie, you won some ribbon, and Verna, you won a ribbon as well. And then Carol, you won an embossing folder. So I have the envelopes already ready to go. I just have to put them in there, and then these will go in the mail. So all 4 of you have something headed your way. And the prizes for today that I will be giving away this is just a pack of paper. I am pretty sure this is, I don't even know. I put together some random retired paper. So this I know was a celebration, if I'm not mistaken, but it does look like it's all the same paper inside. So it'll be this pack of paper, and then it will be this snail mail twine. Great pack right here, because I used a whole bunch of it until the catalog retired. So make sure you comment. Make sure that when you do comment that you shared, if you share the video, and then if you share the video, I will draw a name next week for that. And actually, I will draw a name for it, but there will not be a Facebook Live next week because I will be working at my full-time job, as the other paralegal will be on vacation still. So I will be working all week. So there will be no Facebook Live next week. So that is July the 12th. No Facebook Live. I will post like a little picture or whatever, and I'll give away a prize, but there won't be an actual video next week. Okay. Don't forget that Club is still open. Club will be open until July the 15th. These are the cards that you will make in Club. Oh, let me get that one right. And then this month, there's an extra little box that will be done. You get over $20 in products for this club. It's $39. After 6 consecutive months, you get $25 in free products. So for July, we're using the Color and Contour bundle, which I absolutely love this bundle. So if you're interested, there is a link in the description of this video that you can register that way. All right. Measure of Love class. This is an in-person class at a little place right here in Winsboro, South Carolina, and it is with Jennifer at, I think it's Artist Co-op, but don't hold me to that. It's either Coop or Co-op. I don't know. It's all in how she has it spelled, so I don't want to, I'll have to ask her. Anyway, these are the cards. You will actually get 8 cards in this class. And you will also get a fourth a pack of the DSP. This is the Pattern Party, which is a hostess. And then you'll get a bolt of this Pale Papaya ribbon with this class. So if you're interested in that, I'm gonna pin this class to the top of the page so that it's easier for you to find if you're interested in it. Obviously, being local would be a little bit more helpful because it would be a drive for those of you out of state. So, August class for Columbia. So it's called Columbia Creative Class, and you will make 6 cards. These are the cards. Apparently I'm in a cooking mood right now, so we're going to be using the What's Cooking, and the registration for this will be out in the next few days, so be on the lookout for that. And I believe that is it. Yes, that is it. So let's get down to today's projects. So we're going to be using the Messages dies, the Mini Happenings, and the Mini Messages. So these 2 stamp sets are phenomenal. They have some great sentiments in them. I will suggest, if you are like me, you are going to want 2 of these stamps, 2 each, because what you can do is have one that is the full, and then you can have one that you cut up. So I will be honest with you, I have another set of both of these coming. I originally had a Mini Messages, but I gave it away. so I ordered myself another one, and the ones that are coming in I will cut up so that I can have the individual ones, and then you can still cut it out with these. You just would be able to pick which one you want it to go in. So anyway, I think that is a great thing to do with these, and these are only $22 a piece, so they're not bad priced either. Okay, so let's start out with our first one. And our first one is also going to be using the Spiral Die stamp set. So this one right here. Now, I love how they have this as more of like a distinctive stamp. So you've got some texture that's already built into it. But I really wanted it to look more like tie-dye. So I did some research and I found a demonstrator who did watercoloring with it. Well, like a version of watercolor, and I'll show you. We're gonna obviously do it so you'll see what I mean. But I think this looks more like a tie-dye t-shirt because it's not perfect. Like when you just stamp it, it is like a perfect image almost. So anyway, when you do tie-dye for real on a shirt, this is how it ends up. Sometimes you have big blobs. I know this. So anyway, let's get started with making this. So what you want to do first is you want to grab your Stamparatus. Now I have a little cheat right here. So what I did was I cut my watercolor paper. You want to use watercolor paper for this. And then I literally did the 4 by 5 1/4. There will be a blog post on this, which will have the measurements of the cardstock. And all the products used. So make sure that you check that out as well. And there's a link to my blog in the description of the video. Okay, so we're going to take the watercolor paper and we are going to line that up. We're going to we're going to grab Pacific Point and Granny Apple Green, and we're going to ink up with Pacific Point onto our stamp. And honestly, the best way to do it is to take your stamp case and put it up underneath just like that, and then it gives you a solid and steady area to stamp down on. Okay, so we've got that. Now I'm going to take and put this up underneath like that so that I don't get, I need that though, so I don't get ink everywhere, because you can see when I spray, it's going to do that. Now, you're going to take a spritzer. So Stampin' Up! Sells these. These are in the catalog. And you're literally going to hold it up and you're going to spray. And you're going to get it pretty good and wet, okay? Then all you're going to do, and see, you've got some splattering over here. That's perfectly fine, because again, we want it to be realistic tie-dyeing. So we're going to literally just stamp that down this way. One suggestion for your spiral die stamp is to not put on your label. I put the labels on the mini messages and the mini happenings, and I'm going to be quite frank with you, I wish I had not. The large stamps like this, your background stamps, I wouldn't do it. It's very hard to get them on right, and then there is some bubbling in it. So, okay, now I'm going to pick this up, and there we go. So now what you would want to do is you would actually want to go and dry it with your heat tool, okay? Now, to save us some time, I went ahead and I have done that. But I am going to pause the video really quick because I need to go clean my stamp. My best suggestion for you to clean the stamp is to take your whole plate and take it to the sink and rinse it off. When you rinse it off, it'll just go right into the sink and you're not having to worry about using your cleaning, any of your cleaning tools from Stampin' Up! Because it's very messy, it's very watery, so it's because it's saturated with water, it's really hard. So it's just easier to take to your sink, and you are gonna get messy with this, so just be prepared for that. Once you rinse it all off, I just have my watercolor towel here that I use, and you can tell I originally tried to kind of get some of the saturation off before I took it to the sink, and that did not work out well. So anyway, just get a cloth and then you can dry it off. So I'm going to pause the video while I go do that. Okay, I'm back. So now I have a clean stamp and a clean plate again. So I'm just going to attach it back in. And I have my already blue Pacific Point piece, and this is dry. So what I want to do though is I want to make sure that when I stamp it that I swap it. Okay, so what you're going to do is, originally I stamped it like this, okay, so it went down. Now I want to flip it. So I'm going to put the top, what was the top is now going to become the bottom. Now I'm going to ink it up in Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to make sure it's got some good coverage, because Granny Apple Green's a little lighter than your Pacific Point. So, all right, I'm going to close this so I don't get water on it. Okay, now I'm going to take my spritzer again. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to spritz down, get it good and saturated, and then I'm going to flip it over. And then I'm just going to give it a good press down. Another thing with this stamp is there's some extra like rubber on the outside, and I cut that extra rubber off of my stamp. I actually do that a lot with my rubber stamps, anything extra, because when you're stamping, you're going to get those edges a lot of times. And so I cut all of that off. So you can tell like down here, it's not necessarily straight, and it doesn't matter. So, because I definitely know that that's just about the stamp itself. So you can see pretty close there. Okay, so now we have this, and what you're going to do again is you'll take your heat tool and you will dry it. But with the magic of TV, ooh, I dropped it. I have one already done. Yay. Okay, so I'm just going to fold that over. I'm going to put that one over there, and then we're going to take our dry one we're gonna take a piece of, and you can see I got some on it, but we're just gonna put that on the back so it will not be seen. We're gonna fold this, and then we're gonna flip this over and we're gonna put some adhesive on it. And we're gonna make sure that we put a good amount of adhesive because it is a thicker cardstock, obviously, because it's water paper, so it's meant to hold a lot of water. So it's much thicker. Get that up so that I don't stick something else on it. There we go. All right, and then we're just gonna put this right on down. Just like that. I'm gonna give it a good rub. Okay, and now I'm gonna take some Pacific Point cardstock and I'm going to just punch out this little label here. And this is called Essentials Tag Punch. And then we are going to take, now what I did when I was putting all of these projects together for today is I stamped and cut out an entire like baggie full, because obviously it's one stamp. So with one stamp, I just stamped it all and then I die cut it. And now I have all these extra little pieces. So we're gonna just pick one out of here. I'm gonna do You're Awesome. Okay, and I have glue on my fingers. All right, so we're gonna take the You're Awesome and we're gonna just adhere it straight across. Just like that, and then we're gonna take some dimensionals and pop that up. All right. And we're gonna get that You're Awesome straight. How about that? Okay, and then we're just gonna attach this right down here. And there you go. And then you just wanna add a piece of basic white cardstock to your inside. I'm grabbing one of my extra pieces here. So then we'll flip this over. And I've got probably, there we go. There's a little bit of splatter up there, so I'm gonna try to avoid it as much as possible. All right. Stick that in and voila, there we go. So there is our first card. And this is a great masculine card too. Simple, easy, not a lot of fluff, what I call it. All right, so I'm gonna go grab the next project and we'll get started on it. Okay, so this is our second card, and this is literally, we're just gonna heat emboss our sentiments onto black cardstock. So we're gonna heat emboss it with white. And you're gonna use the Stamparatus again. One thing I love about having multiple plates with the Stamparatus is that literally I had everything set up for this class with its own individual plate. So that makes it really easy and wonderful. Okay, so on this one, we are using the mini messages, and we are going to grab some black cardstock, and I'm gonna line it up so that I know it'll all kind of go onto it. And this is a long piece, which is fine. I'm going to tape it down on the bottom just because if I need to restamp it, I want to make sure that it doesn't move. Okay. All right, so I've got it there. I'm going to use the embossing buddy first because I want to make sure that all of my fingerprints, and look, see, it moved already. I want to make sure that all of my fingerprints are, the oils are gone off the paper. Because I've handled this paper quite a bit, so I just want to make sure. Okay, so now we're gonna put that up, and we're gonna actually attach this again. So we're gonna stick it there, and we're gonna add another little piece. How about that? We're gonna add a piece over it. There we go. Okay. I hope it does not come up. Okay, now we're gonna take our Versamark, and if you're watching the video, you're gonna hear fireworks in the background because I'm doing this over the 4th of July weekend. So, our neighbors behind us, they have a little fireworks show every year. So, we heard it last year when we moved in here. Actually, they're great neighbors, so and they don't do it for too long. All right, I think I've got that pretty good. As much as I think it's gonna work, we might do it again just to be on the safe side. And we're just gonna adhere down, and then I'm just gonna rub my fist over, and then just press down. And what I was talking to you about earlier, see the sticker on it, I don't know if you can tell, but the sticker on it is bubbled. And so that bothers me. So I probably will not ever put a background stamp sticker on again. Okay, I'm gonna lift that up and see it's not getting the center. Okay, all right, let's do it again. Make sure it's good and Versamark stickied up, and I know I'm shaking the thing. Let's do this. I won't shake as bad if I do this. I always forget to put it under there until I start. All right, let's try it again. And you can always take something and rub it across if you want. If that helps you. I'm just gonna press down really good and shake the whole camera while I do it. Sorry. All right, let's see if that, yeah, this down here is not doing very well. All right, I'm gonna move it to me just really quick, just so I can press down on it. See. All right, I think that's better. We're gonna go with that. We don't need the happy anniversary, so we're gonna go with it. Okay, I'm gonna take all this off. I'm gonna throw it away. And then I'm gonna move my Stamparatus and all that fun stuff. And then I'm just gonna lay this right here on this paper. We're gonna grab the white embossing powder, and I'm literally going to move the spoon out of it. I'm just gonna start pouring on top. Okay. I'm gonna put that there. All right, so we're just gonna kind of get it right there on our cardstock. I'm gonna flick it. Ah, goodness. Ugh, I bet you I just messed it up. I sure did. Look at there. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna flick it off camera into my trash can. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all this, I'm going to put it back in. And then, because I can't stand a mess, I'm going to fold that and put it in the trash can. Okay. And then I'm gonna take a little towel here. I'm gonna wipe everything off so that I can vacuum it in a little bit. Or vacuum it when I vacuum the room. But I can't stand it on the table. So, there we go. All right, bring back in our card. Now bring back in our project. Now, one thing I want to do is I want to go through and kind of get rid of any little extra stuff that may be there. So I'm going to teach you a trick. I am grabbing my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to get some sticky. And I'm going to rub right across. Just like that. Now, if there's a lot there, you can literally just get it. What you're really doing is getting it loose. So we're just going to rub it. Okay, and then this one. And then we're going to do this right here. Just make sure you don't mess up your sentiments. And then I'm going to flick it into the trash can. And then if it doesn't get it all off, then what you can do is take a little brush and rub it. And it'll help to get it off as well. All right, so the only thing about black paper is that sometimes you're always going to be left with a little bit of this white. Not the end of the world, though. All right, so now I'm going to get my heat tool, and we're going to heat it up so that it changes to shininess. And I just got to plug in the heat tool. Okay. I'm going to actually stop the video and I'll restart it when I'm done. Okay, so it's all turned to shiny. So now what we want to do is we want to bring in the Stamp and cut and emboss machine. And we're going to bring in the big one. Let me move it this way a little bit. All right, let me flip my plates over. I was doing some delicate or detailed die cutting earlier, so I had the plates swapped. All right, so now we're going to grab our mini messages, or our message dies, and we're going to line up. Now, the easiest way I have found to line this up is with the hearts and the stars in here. Okay. I will give you one little hint. It works for the mini messages, but it does not work for the mini happenings. So you're not going to line up your hearts and your stars on this one. Just so you know. All right, so I got it all lined up there. I'm going to grab sticky notes here, if I can get it off. Oh, okay. And I'm going to just run across there and then run across here. Okay. All right. We're going to run this through. And it is easier to run this die through with your scalloped, with this side going in first. And the reason for that, this is a solid, almost solid line here. So it'll be harder to run through that way. Okay, so I'm gonna move the machine. I'm gonna take that though. And move it out the way. Let me take this off. And I think it might have moved when I was running it through, but it'll work. It'll work, it'll work. We'll make it work, right? All right. Now, one good thing about this is that you can pop out all of the pieces with your fingers, okay? And all you have to do is take your thumb and press it right into each piece, and it'll just come right on out. Just like that. And then you can do your stars as well. Of course, it's not going to do it now while I'm doing a video. There it goes. And if you just push down into the center of it, it'll pop right out. All right, so we've got all our pieces here. Now what we want to do is bring in our Melon Mambo piece. And then you've got some extra down here that you can use as well for any other projects that you do. Okay, so we're gonna start with the big, long, so happy to hear your exciting news, congratulations. So I already have everything laid out here. I want to repeat this exactly. So I'm gonna go ahead and start adhering each piece. If I hadn't done that yet, then I would set them all out and then start adhering them. I'm going to move this over just a little bit though, like that. And I'm going to actually grab my liquid glue since some of these are a little small. Okay, then I'm going to look for, see, I know I need the congratulations and just there. Let's see. Oh, happy day I need. And I definitely need the hearts and the stars. Just wanted to say. Let's see, what else do we need? All right, don't need that. Oh, sending happy thoughts. That one will go there, and that goes there. And let's see, here we go. Here's this one. So right there. Okay, I think that's it for now. I think that's all of them. All right, so we're gonna put some adhesive on the back of this. I'm just getting away some of the cardstock edgings. All right, put that right above, like that. Okay, and then we're gonna put this one on. It's gonna go about there. And using the liquid glue also helps me to know that I'm gonna get it straight. So, all right. Adhere this one to right about there. I'm gonna move it in just a touch. There we go. All right, and then happy day. It's gonna be right about here. Right about there. Okay, got that straight. Now this is gonna get popped up. All right, so 1, 2, and 3. And then we're gonna adhere it right there. Okay, and then we're gonna attach congratulations, and we're almost there. It keeps falling out of my hands. Okay, There's like paper, little extras on there because of cutting it out. So we're gonna get rid of all those. Okay, so this is gonna go right here. And then just wanted to say it's gonna go right above it. Like that. Okay. Okay, so now we're just gonna add these little hearts and stars, and I'm going to use my Take Your Pick tool. I'm gonna put one right here. We're gonna put one here. And then we're gonna put two up here. Like that. Okay. So we're gonna take that and adhere it there. Take the heart, adhere it down here. Okay, star there. And use my nail to keep it down. Okay, and then one last one right there. All right, I'm gonna let that dry really quick. And I'm gonna grab my card base. Sorry, I have something sticky on my table. All right, and I'm gonna grab the bone folder this time. Give it a good burnish. And then, there we go. I'm gonna go ahead, while that's drying, I'm gonna go ahead and put my white piece on the inside. So, and there we go. Okay. All right, now we're gonna take this and we're going to put just liquid glue on the back of it. Just since we already have the liquid glue. And then we're gonna attach it down to our basic white piece. And then we're gonna get that even. Okay, and then we're gonna pop this up onto our card base. And 3 more. Okay, then we'll take off the backings. Gotta do that to make sure it's adhered. Otherwise, it'll fall right off. All right. Then we're gonna attach it just like this. Well, we wanna get it even as much as possible. Okay, there we go. Now, the last thing we wanna do is we want to attach this glitter black ribbon. So we're just gonna take it to the inside of the card. So when you open it, you're gonna see the black ribbon right there on the inside. Okay. Then we're going to tie a knot. And what I like about this ribbon is that you can make it conform to whatever you want it to do because of the stiffness that this ribbon has. So, all right. I'm gonna bring my head in a little bit. All right, now we're going to, and guess what? I didn't get that tail long enough. I need to make it a little bit longer. So let's take 2. All right. Now that should be good enough. For sure. All right. And this ribbon is kind of, it's almost like sticky, but I think it's just the material and the fact that it has glitter. I will say I don't necessarily like the glitter that comes off on it, but because the glitter does come off of the ribbon, but I do like the look of it for this card anyway. Okay, so we've got our ribbon there. And see, I can conform it to go like that. If it was any other ribbon, it would not do this, which is why I picked it. All right, so then we're going to cut off the tails. So let me grab my ribbon scissors, and we're going to make the tails pretty short because we don't really want it to cover up a lot of our words. Okay, so there we go. There is card number 2. Okay, so this is our last card, and what I did was I took the die, wherever I put it. I honestly have no idea. There we go. I just had it in my hand. All right, so I took this die, and I literally took Poppy Parade, Gorgeous Grape, Daffodil Delight, Pacific Point, Granny Apple Green, Melon Mambo, Mango Melody, and Coastal Cabana, and I cut out the entire thing for each one of them. So what it ended up doing was giving me a whole bunch of just random little cutouts, which is great because that's what we did to create our background. Okay, so first though, what I did was I took a piece of basic white cardstock and I stamped using the Stamparatus. I stamped the sentiments onto that basic white, okay? And then I cut it out using that die. Now, I have a lot of pieces left over from it, so we're just going to use one of those sentiments. But we're going to pull in all these little packets. I was originally going to put each color in its own packet and then decided against it. Okay, so we're going to do a Pacific Point background card base this time instead of Poppy Parade. I thought they both worked really well. We're going to take the smallest piece of basic white, which is this one right here, and we're going to take some liquid glue again, and we're going to start grabbing out some of the larger pieces. So we're taking the long labels out. Okay, so we need to grab a Mango Melody, and then, and it doesn't really matter which one you pick, okay? All right, so now we need Granny Apple Green. So for Granny Apple Green, we're gonna pull out this one. And then Pacific Point, let's pull out this one. And then we will pull out that one for Daffodil Delight. Gorgeous Grape. Let's see. Let's do this one for Gorgeous Grape. And then for Pacific Point, we are gonna do this one. Okay. So we've got all of our pieces there. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna line them up and start adhering them. Okay, so I've got them all on there. I'm gonna start with this one, the Granny Apple Green. I'm gonna put it on there first. And using the liquid glue allows us, again, to move it if we needed to adjust it all. So I'm going to put it at an angle, and then I'm going to do the Pacific Point since it's the other centerpiece. And now I'm just going to start adhering all around it. And there is no rhyme or reason. I'm literally just sticking it on. Okay. All right, so that's that side. And then we want to adhere this side. We're going to go straight up for that one. And then go like that. And then this one will go to the left, like that. Okay, so there's our background. Now we're gonna adhere this to our basic black, and I'm gonna just use the liquid glue since that's what I've got in my hand. And that's pretty good. So we'll squish that down, make sure it stays. All right, and then we'll put up our liquid glue. And then we are going to wrap this is from the combo pack for the dogs. Playful Pets, there we go. Ben and I do not have a dog anymore. Our Lucy died several years, well, 2 years ago now, and well, almost 2 years. And we decided that we could not do it again. So for now, we are dog parentless, which is definitely sad to say. But with moving and all that we do, we felt that it was unfair right now for that. So, okay, so we're gonna wrap that around twice, and I'm gonna grab a mini glue dot. And we're going to attach, maybe, I'm gonna grab my take your pick tool. We're gonna stick that mini glue dot right there. And then we're gonna attach this like that, okay? Okay, then I'm gonna cut off this end over here. Like that. Okay. Now, I want a bow, but I don't really want to tie a bow, because if I tie a bow, it's going to be really thick. So all I'm doing is wrapping around, or just kind of looping, okay? And making sure that it makes the shape of a bow, okay? So now that's thinner, which will be easier to put my sentiment over. I do want to adjust a little bit like that, okay? Okay, so we're gonna then trim off this end right there. And now we are going to take our Coastal Cabana. We're gonna flag this end. So I'm gonna use the Banners Pick-a-Punch. And I'm gonna use this one here. So I'm just gonna stick it all the way in and punch it off. And then I'm going to put a dimensional here and then dimensionals along there. So I'm gonna use the edge of the dimensionals. So I'm gonna trim there, and there, and there. I'm gonna put this one here, and then this one right along here, okay? And now I'm gonna do one down here, and on top, okay? And that is straddling the ribbon, so it's gonna allow our dimensionals and our Coastal Cabana to lay flat across. All right, so we're just gonna attach it like that. Oh, I gotta take off the backings though. Just kidding. Isn't that what I like jokingly said earlier? Oh, goodness. All right, I'm just gonna move that so it's not touching that. Okay. Otherwise it'll get real bulky, and we don't want it to be bulky. Okay, so now we're going to attach this to our Pacific point. So we're gonna put dimensionals all along the back. I got to cut for 2 more there and there. Okay, now we're going to attach this to the Pacific point. And make sure we kind of get it even. That's good. And now we're going to trim off that. Okay, so we're just going to run our scissors right along there. Okay, so there we go. And now we want to grab a sentiment from this little baggie that we did before. And I think I'm going to do this one right here that says love and hugs. Okay, so I'm going to stick a little piece of dimensional, the straight line, so the outside, on the top. So I'm going to stick it right about there, and then I'm going to put adhesive everywhere else on here. Okay, take off that backing and then stick that right there. And then there's our card. And we lastly just want to add our matted black dots, which y'all know I love these things. Okay, so we're gonna do one here, one there, one there, and then I'm going to put another one right there. Okay, so that is card number 3. I'm going to get all this stuff off of the counter. Oh, I forgot to put the inside. Let's do that real quick. Okay, don't want to forget that. Okay, all right, so that is card number 3. And then let's pull in card number 1 and card number 2. So these are your projects using the mini messages and the mini happenings. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. The description of the video will have links to everything that you need for ordering or for upcoming classes and events and that kind of stuff. Don't forget about the paper sale right now. Don't forget to sign up for Paper Pumpkin Club August class. And then last but not least, the live class that I will have in Winsboro, South Carolina for at the artist co-op. So anyway, again, the links will all be in there. For the live class, that will be pinned to the very top of the Facebook page. So I hope you guys had a great 4th, and I will see you next time. Bye.